Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Live. I'm very happy that you're joining. Today, we're doing something that's going to be fun and super easy. It's a waterfall journal, and I really love this. I'm addicted to it now. It's so easy to do. It's a great way to use up some of your scraps. And it also creates a unique journal that can be just used as is or put into a junk journal, for example. Um, yeah, so before we get into this, I'm just going to wait for some more people to come. I just kind of wanted to show what's been going on in the craft room the past week. So on Friday, if you were here live, then you were able to see the postage C card that was made. This was using Concord and Ninth. The prototype was the Missing You, and then we did the Thinking of You, and I'm going to start the third one. And yeah, so that's what we did on Friday. During the week, I continued on my junk journal that we've been working on. Remember last week we put the signatures into the spine. And so what I've been doing is I've been using some of that fabric washi tape around the outside just to reinforce it and to give it a very neat look. And so this week I'll put the covers on it on both sides, and then I'm going to start working on the inside and put more lace in and put the flips in the pockets and really get going on this journal. So next week I'll share with you how far I got with this one. But then I also worked on these little waterfall journals, and yeah, this is a great little project, and I really hope that you try it because, again, it's super easy and the results are just amazing. So here's a small one. I made this with a scrap piece of, I think this is Simple Stories paper. I didn't want to get rid of it because it's so pretty with the butterflies. So I took some copier paper. It's just yellow copier paper that I had, and yeah, I created this little bitty journal that can be tucked in somewhere. I'll just keep it at my desk at work or something. It's really cute. And the prototype is this one here. And this is a fall themed one. I went I added a whole bunch of details to it, and I dyed some ribbon to make this. Here, I'll open up the inside here. Yep, so I just create this little journal. It's super cute. I love the colors of this. And I applied the distress ink around it just to make it look a little more vintage. And I really like how it turned out. Oh, that's a pocket there. Yep, there's a pocket there. So yeah, so this is what we're making today. Now, the papers that I'm using, they're from Michaels, and it's called Sweet Harvest. And I liked it so much, I accidentally bought it twice. I remember I went to Michaels and I saw it and I loved it. It's one of their inexpensive sets, and I must have bought it and forgot. Well, no, I had to have. I bought one and I forgot that I bought it, and then I went back a couple weeks later and they were on sale for like $5 or something. So I picked up one. So I have two. But get a load of these papers. There's gold in it and some pinks. I love that paper. That's going to be great on a card. This is great for using for card making or for your journals. And again, it was inexpensive. And I like almost every single sheet in here. There's only one sheet that I'm not too fussy about. Now I'll show that one to you when it comes up. It's a very large gingham, but I think it would look good in a scrapbook. But for the journals and for what I do, whoops, there's my little receipt. It's just not. It's my least favorite of all the pages. This one here is just a little bit too big. It's still pretty though. I think they look good on a scrapbook page. But yeah, love all the pages in this. So I'm going to be making several of these waterfall journals out of this. So let's go ahead and let's start with this. So what do you need? You need paper. It could be scrapbook paper. It could be some of your tea dye papers. It could be copier paper. My only suggestion is that if you go to make this, you don't want to use the really thick, the 110 cardstock, just because it might not lay so well. It might be a little hard for you to sew through or staple through because it's just too much meat. So I'm going to go with the pattern paper with this journal again, just because I have so much of it and I want to use it. So what I'm doing is I have 7 of these pages. I just picked 7 of the pages here. I'm going to make sure all of them are oriented in the right direction. Yep. And I cut them down to, I believe this is 7. Let me just make sure before I say anything here. And again, oh no, that's 8. So you don't have to use the same dimensions, but I just wanted to share what I'm doing. So I cut it down to 8 by 11.75. And the reason why I did that is the space that I'm using when I'm folding this, it is a 1/4 inch for my folds. I'll show you in a second. And the math just didn't work out correctly. So I just cut a 1/4 inch off the side and it worked out fine. And that's with the 1/4 inch spacing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see which order I want these in. Just because I don't want to have pumpkins next to pumpkins and gingham next to gingham. I just kind of want to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to do it like that. And then maybe, which one next? Maybe I'll do this one next. That one's cute. And then I will do this one. And then this one. And then this one and this one. Okay, so that's my order. But the thing is, this is single-sided paper. And I don't want to have all my single-sided paper on one side. I want to do it so that it's every other side. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to do it like this. Just flip every other one over. And it works out like this so that when you open up your journal, I've got 2 patterns and then 2 opens. 2 patterns, 2 opens. If I didn't do it this way, then the front would be pattern and then all the rest would be just the plain. And I just didn't want that. Okay, so now we start folding. And the thing is, you don't need a scoreboard for this. You can just start and you can just fold and then move on to the next one. But I'm using a scoreboard just because I don't trust my folding. But you can easily do it without a scoreboard. I think I did this one without a scoreboard. Or I might have used the scoreboard. But when you see what I do, then you can see how easy it is to do this without a scoreboard. I'm using one because I have it. So for this first one, I am going to score this at oh, you know what? I'm doing this upside down by my math here. Let me make sure I've got this right. This is 4.25. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to do 4.25 here. And I'm flipping this over because I want this to be my top sheet. So all my pages are upside down because of that. Okay, so my next one. So this one I'm going to score to 4.5. I'm just going to fold it. Oh, you know, I did that the wrong way. Sorry. I'll go that way because I want the 2 whites right there. Sorry, my notes, I have my notes backwards. So sorry about that. Okay, so this next one, this one is going to be 4.75. And then my next one is going to be, it's going to be 5. So I think you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just making it, yeah, I'm going to go like this. Even though I think that's wrong. Yeah, it could be wrong, but that's okay. So you can see I'm just increasing by 0.25 every single time. And so this one, sorry, that was 5. So this one is going to be 5.25. And this one will be 5.25. Oh, wait a minute. I just did 5.25, didn't I? Oh, I'm all a mess now because my notes were wrong. So 5.5. And then the last one will be 5.75. And I'm going to fold this one in like that. So when you have all of these together, that you already have this. Isn't that nice? It was super easy to do, so you can see how easy it is just to, if you want to just fold this by hand, you can do it. You just take one here. Let me show you on my scraps. So let's say I wanted to make an album or a journal out of this one. So if this was my first page, I'm just going to go there. And then my next one, I'm going to do it like that. So then, oops, do that. Just fold. And then I would just keep doing this, just like, okay, so there's another about 1/4 inch there. Line that up, fold. So you just keep folding until you get the journal size that you want. It's really easy. And yeah, the results are quite awesome. I really like the results on that. So now we have all of our folds, so we can just keep it. Where did I put my journal? I just had it. Oh, here we go. So we could just keep it like that. Like, that's really pretty. I like how that looks. We could just finish by doing the binding there on the side, and then this could be just a cute little journal just like this. But what you can do at this point is you can either tear the edges, like if you have one of these tear rulers, you could do that, and that would add some interesting details along the side. Or you can use some of the scissors. If you have scissors that have like a profile to them like this, that's what I used for this and this one. You can really see how nice that looks. Or you can just, if you want to, if you don't have the tear ruler, if you don't have these scissors, if you just want it to just look like a little vintage on the outside, then you can take your favorite ink that you use. Like I like using Vintage Photo, and you can put that along the edges. That's what I did for this. I used Vintage Photo, and then I finished it off with a little bit of walnut stain, and that's how I had that really nice look to it. Now for this one is has really bright colors, and I didn't want to dull those down, with the vintage photo. I just want to keep this nice and bright and cheery. So instead, what I did along the edge there is I used the Lawn Fawn's Pigment Ink in Yeti. And I have a little foam pad, and I went around the edges, and I just added the white to the edges, and that really changed how this looked. And I added white to the outside, and I added white to the outside of the little sentiment piece there. So you have different options. Again, this looks really nice like this, or you can add distress ink, or you can tear along the edge, or you can tear along the edge and add distress ink. You can add white along the edge. You could add gold along the edge if you want to, if you have a gold pen. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I have this little gold leafing pen. This is from Krylon. And what you can do with this is, let me grab another piece here. Here's a piece. And I'll grab this scrap piece of paper here, and you take this and you push down on it, on the tip, on the nib, and more of the gold leafing comes out, and you just go along the edge. Yeah, I didn't leave that long enough. There we go. Now it's coming out. You can see the puddle there. You go along the edge and you add beautiful gold to the edge of your paper. And it looks nice. I love the results of that. Yeah, it'd be time consuming for this project. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I'm just going to set this aside. I might do that for another journal because I have enough paper to do several. So I'm not going to show you how to do the edges. I'll just let you, well, actually, here, I'll show you what I mean by using the scissors. So all I did was I kept my paper like this when I did the edging. I kept my paper folded, and then I grabbed a, where did I put it? My desk is a mess now. Oh, here we go. I grabbed a paper clip. And yeah, I just that's too big. I just paper clipped it right here just to keep all my pages even. And then I took my scissors and I went along the edge. And I didn't realize it until I started using scissors that unless I have a line or some kind of guide, I don't cut very straight. So you think, oh, it's scissors, I must cut straight. Nope, I do not cut straight very well. So yeah, so you can see what I'm doing here. You just slowly just go down, try to keep it even. And by the time you get to the back side, it just leaves a nice even result. Your journal will be a little bit thinner, but that's okay. Like this journal turned out really well with it being thinner, and I really like how it looked. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's just finish this off here. You know, it's really bothering me that that's not cut. I think I might just take the couple minutes to do this. If you're watching this as a rewatch, then feel free to not watch me as I cut this. It's just a little pet peeve of mine to leave something unfinished that I'm showing you. So I don't want to leave it plain because that's not the way I'm going to have this journal. So I'm just going to cut along the edge here. Because I really do want to show you guys how this looks when it's done. So you can see I don't cut straight very well. So I bought these scissors at a secondhand store for a little bit of nothing. So I think it was like 50 cents or $1. If you don't have these, you can find them at secondhand stores pretty easy. Seems like every time I go to a secondhand store, they have a pair of these, or, you know, with waves or something in them. So that's easy to find. Yeah, that one wasn't cut very well, but that's okay. I can fix that when I go back up here. Let's see. And this one. Yep, so yesterday, I haven't been to the secondhand store is by me. I haven't been there in a while. I really like going there. They have a lot of variety of older items, and it seems like when I go there, I always find something unique, whether I buy it or not. There's always something like vintage and unique to look at, and I really like that. And it was really weird because I'm working on several junk journals right now, and one of them, I was thinking, oh, you know, I keep finding books that, you know, that I can take images out of and stuff for this junk journal, but I like images that are on both sides of the same sheet of paper, and so I have a hard time picking which one I want to use. So I was like, oh, you know, it'd just be nice to find a double of this book. And what happens, I go to the store, and they had two there, and they're 99 cents. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that that's there. And if you were watching the live on Friday, I was talking about how you could take that card with the lighthouse, and you can, you know, you might be able to put something on the lighthouse, like, and I said, like, you know, a couple of leaves of holly, or I said something like that. But I mentioned holly, and like that would look really, really nice. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, you know, it'd be nice to have like a punch for that. So what happens? I go there. No, it was the other secondhand store that I like to go to. So I went to both of them yesterday. What happens? They had one there. Like, what are the odds of that happening? And I needed a new pair of jeans for work because my work is quite dirty. And I right now the jeans I have, it's like I've only got the, you know, the one pair of those, and I have these cargo pants that you know, they're fine, but they're just a little too loose. And so I went to the store where I get my jeans from, and I'm a size tall, and the jeans are unfortunately expensive, and I didn't want to spend money on a brand new pair of jeans. I'm just going to get dirty within a couple of days. And so when I went to that secondhand store, didn't they have a pair there in my size for $9? Like, it was just a really good day. At that point, I was just like, well, you know what? Like, this is just awesome. And so, yeah, it was quite satisfying seeing that and finding those deals. So I was really happy about that. Oh, hi, Christine. Sorry, I was just chatting away. Hi, Audrey. So yeah, so we're covering how to make a waterfall journal. And so we've already folded our pages, and yeah, I just put the special edging on it. I'm not going to do the distress inking on it just because it's going to take a little bit of time. So I just want to get right to the sewing on this. So I'm just going to use the same 5-hole stitch that I usually use. It's easy, and the results are good. So I'm going to use an awl. Let's see. That one's a little too... Yeah, I'll use that one. I'm going to use some wax thread. Oh, I need needles. I'm going to use a big needle. Oh, Well, I'm very happy that you guys are joining in. Let's see. Audrey is a very creative person. Christine tells me often how creative Audrey is and the little things that she makes. She does really cool things with cats. Like she does like little cat things, and they all sound very cool. Okay, so I've got them paper clipped on either side. I've got a nice dense piece of foam here. This is going to protect my work surface. Even though I have this here, I just find that this is really good to work with. And I've got my awl. And so my awl is just a little bit thicker than the needle that I'm going to use. So this way it's easy for me to get this in and out. Origami cats. Oh my gosh. That's amazing, Audrey. Okay, so I'm just going to punch a hole right in the center here. Just going to kind of move it around a little bit. And I'm going to go a little close to the top. I'm going to leave like about 3/4 of an inch or so from the top. So I'll just punch there. I'm going to punch on the other side. Now, if your paper's thin enough, and like let's say you just use copier paper or like a thin paper, then you might be able to get away with just using a thicker needle to punch through it. You don't have to have an awl. I recommend an awl, but that's just because it works so well. Okay, so I've got my 5 in there. You can also use a stapler. If you've got a stapler with a long neck, you could also use a stapler. This one here was done using a stapler. Super easy. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of my wax thread. Wax thread works really well. This is just the 5-hole stitch that I used often. It's in other videos too. And yeah, so I won't go too much into it, but I will show my steps here. So I just put my wax thread through, and I like to spin it just a little bit, like it's going to come unraveled by the time I'm done with it, but I just like doing that just to kind of keep it in place. So I'm going to have it so that my thread ends are going to stay on the inside of the journal. So I go through the center, and I go up, I go through, and I'm just going to tape this with just some removable tape just right there. So you can see, well, I didn't do a very good job going through there, but I'm covering it up anyway. So I will show you the pattern that we use for this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we go up through. So I'll show you what I mean. So it's 1, we've already done the 1, then we go up through the 2. My holes are really off. Then we go down and do the 3. So it's nice and tight through there. That side's nice and tight too. Could be a little bit tighter. There we go. So I'm going to go back through that hole, and I'm just going to be careful to not go through my thread. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to the second hole from the bottom. Oops. I'm going to go through here. And I'm going to go back through this part, making sure I'm not going through my thread. And then last, I'm going to go through here, and I'm making sure that my thread goes out on the other side of my wax there. Wow, I really overestimated how much thread I needed today, but that's okay. I'll use that in something else. So I'm just going to cut that, and I'm just going to tie it. With the wax thread, it's quite nice. You can do 2 ties, and the wax, or 2 knots, it really helps keep it in. So there you go. You can get the wax off, or you can get the wax thread, this kit, off of Amazon. That's where I got it from. So you can see how bad that is. But that's okay. I've never done it that bad before. Actually, it looks kind of cool. But that's not the way I'm keeping this. Because I also want to put, I want to be able to tie this with some ribbon. So like I said, I already dyed some ribbon. This was white. This is just white seam binding. You can get this off of eBay. I'm pretty sure you can get it off of Amazon. And then this is ribbon that it's sheer and it's satin. I picked this up at Walmart. Walmart's getting rid of them right now. And I bought 3 spools of them. And I think they were 50 cents or $1. And then I just dyed them. So they're quite pretty. So I'm doubling it, and I'm leaving a little bit extra for when I tie it. So I'm just going to cut that. Just going to paper clip this end together to make sure that that looks good there. So I'm going to tie this around here. Let's hope that I cut this to the right size. That looks like I did. Yep. That's definitely enough room for my ribbon. Ooh, you can see that tape there. That's kind of gross. With some cat hair. Cut that side off. Okay, so that's pretty good. So now I want to be able to hold this ribbon in place without it moving. So I'm going to take a strip of the paper that's from here, and I think I want to use the autumn leaves. That's really pretty. So I'll just cut this. Cut this to size. Definitely saving these other strips to use inside the journal. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, I will use the distress ink on this because I won't be able to add this afterwards. So since I've already cut the sides to have that tear look to it, I'm gonna cut that there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just add a little bit of the distress ink, oops, along the edges, just enough to give it the aged look, to make it look a little vintage. Now I know I'm not using a whole sheet here, so let's see how big I have to make this. So that's going to go there. I'm going to fold it. And I'm very close to the edge there. So the thing is, what I did with my other one was I wanted to make sure that I had enough space to tie it. I didn't want it to go right to the edge, the paper right to the edge, because when I'm tying this, it's going to pull up on that edge. So that's why I'm in a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to stop it right in front of that harvest. So that worked out well. There we go. So that's where it's going. There's a little twist, so I'm going to straighten that out. So I could do this one of two ways. I could use glue and hold it in place. You could use like white school glue if you want to hold it in place, and then just make sure that you have paper clips holding it into where you want it. There we go. Yeah, I think I might do that. Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to use the Nuvo glue. I really like this, but it's whatever glue that you like. You can use tape if you want, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue underneath where the ribbon is, just to kind of hold that in place too. I'm going to make sure that I am even here. That's where I want it. Yep. Straighten that one out again. That one wants to keep curling. Isn't that pretty? That is quite lovely. Okay, so now I'm going to go around this side and do the same thing here. Making sure that I'm not missing that the bend part of it. I'm definitely going into that area. So the Nuvo glue, it dries pretty well. It dries fast, which is nice. So I'm just going to use the big paper clip. Kind of put that in there just like that. Okay, so I'm going to undo my paper clip here. That's holding my ribbon together. Oh gosh, that's pretty. I actually kind of like how I missed the vine there, but that's okay. I do want to cover that up because I do like the finished look of having a spine on this. So I'm going to take another piece of the paper. I think maybe I'll take this orange here. Nope, don't like the orange. Let's see what else I have. I think I have a piece of the gold paper in here that might look good. What else do we have? What do you think, Audrey? What do you think? Should I go with gingham? Or should I go with the orange? So what do you think? The orange or the gingham? The orange? Perfect. Thank you, Audrey. And Christine. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this to size. I already know that that's 8 inches tall, so I'm just going to cut this to 8. My desk is such a mess right now. Okay, so this is going to be 8 tall. I don't want to make it too wide, so I think I might just go 3.5 inches or 3 inches wide. Okay, then I will just, I don't trust my folding. Again, you could just fold this in half. But I am going to not trust myself. So 1.5 inches. There we go. Okay, so again, I'm going to go around it with a little bit of Distress ink because I won't be able to after I put it on. So again, you do not have to do all these steps. You saw how long it took while I was explaining it, how to do the layering to make the waterfall. So yeah, you don't have to do all these steps for that. But after that, you could have just kept it plain, and it would have looked just beautiful, right? It would have looked very unique and awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to go a step further, and yeah, I just wanted to give it the vintage look. Okay, so now we're going to glue over this one. And that's, no, there's plenty of room there. Okay, so again with the glue. So Audrey, what are you and Christine doing today? Are you guys crafting today? Are you guys going anywhere? What are you guys doing? Let's see. Oh, it covers up the A. I didn't want it to cover up the A. Maybe the other side isn't so bad. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's better. Let's see. So there we go. So we have that. Look how pretty that is. I think I might fussy cut, a pumpkin or a flower or something and put it there right next to it. I think that would look really nice. Let's see if I have one handy, which I do not. Like one of these pumpkins might look good there, or that flower. I think I will cut that flower now. Let's just finish this. We are baking a cake and making a card for my dad's birthday tomorrow. Oh, Audrey, that is so nice. Oh, he's going to be so happy. That is just the best birthday gift. So what kind of cake are you baking? Is it chocolate? Is it vanilla? Is it golden? Let's see. Oh, that looks pretty right there. Wonder if it looks better that way. Oh, it looks good this way. Let's see. Just gonna add a little bit there. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks really, really good. I'm glad I did that. Chocolate fudge. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so tasty. I bet it will be delicious. So that looks pretty. And the final touch, I'm just going to add a little bit of glam to this. So I'm going to add some little gems. Again, you don't have to do this. Like I said, you can just keep this as is, but I am the type of crafter that I like adding gems to stuff and, adding edges to stuff and just adding a little bit of extra detail. I'm not good with plain and simple, or anything like that. Okay, so maybe I'll go up like that. I want to be able to. I'm going to add a couple more. Probably don't need to, but I really want to add some extra pretty to this. Leaves. Uh-oh, I left it open too long. It's starting to dry. So it's so bright in my craft room today that I didn't need lighting on my desk. That never happens. I just realized that. Okay, so I've got that, and my last step is I'm going to take some stickles, and I am just going to put it in the flower centers. To add just a little bit more pretty to this card, or to this journal. Not that I needed it, but you know, that's what I want to do. And I love the results of it. Just adds a little bit more detail to the journal front. So there we have it. Of course, after this, I'm going to go over this with the vintage photo and the walnut stain, just to give it that vintage look to it, an older look. But right now, this is it. This is the pretty. Yeah, I have to fix that ribbon. This is the journal. I love the way it turned out. Here's the original again. So you can see I made that one a little bit smaller. I cut the pages a little bit closer together. I added, like I said, pockets and stuff to it afterwards. And then I had a smaller bit of paper left from a crafty time that I spent with Christine and Dorothy, actually. And I took some copier paper and I made this cute little journal. And it's a great way to use up scraps. It's a great way to use some of those paper pads that you have in your craft area, and you just want to find a use for. So, thank you, Christine. I really want to thank you guys for coming by, and don't forget there was a live. I know, I love the teeny one too. The teeny one's so cute. And like when you make journals and stuff like that, or when you make projects, you always have bits of paper left over, and it's a great way to use some paper. Yes, don't forget we did this on Friday. These two cards. I'm probably going to do another one, maybe this Friday, another card, and then oh my goodness, next Sunday I don't know what we're going to do. It will most likely be something with junk journals, but yeah, I'll figure that out, and we'll have a fun time crafting. So thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, make sure you hit the little like button, leave comments or questions, and I'll make sure to get back to you. For all my friends in Canada, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving weekend. To Audrey, thank you for stopping by, Audrey. And Christine, you're the best, Christine. And yeah, I hope you guys have a happy crafty day. Bye.